talk about speech and language development of learners. Can you give us your summary of what you think that means, but also how's the technology aided that in your classrooms?
So I think in terms of, we understand that if a student can't hear or can't say something, then they can't read and write it, is a really simplified way to think about it. So for particularly our early childhood educators, but also in our context at Roburn, we have English as an additional dialect speakers. So almost all of our students speak Aboriginal English as a first language. Injibani as our local language is quite strong here. It's the language that we teach as part of our curriculum as well. So we're dealing with complex learners who need help developing their understanding of standard Australian English, and the best way for them to do that is for them to hear it and for them to speak it. So I guess in terms of that being the most accessible way for them, if they can hear clearly what their teachers are saying, and if they can understand, the way that the mouth moves, and when you look at phonics as well, we want to make sure that our students are actually understanding the way that their mouth needs to move. We know, particularly in Western Australia, where I've obviously had all of my experience, there's differences in the ways that vowels are pronounced in Aboriginal English compared to standard Australian English. So for our teachers to really effectively help the students to hear that, we do a lot of teaching around how the mouth looks when we're pronouncing different sounds and getting the students to practice that, and helping them to hear the really minute differences in words that are different. They're difficult in standard Australian English at the best of times. And then we're dealing with the complexities of these tiny little, really tiny things that you have to know they're there to be able to even sort of understand and identify. Without understanding Aboriginal English, often it's just sort of thought of as that the students mispronounce the word, but it's legitimately the way the word's said in Aboriginal English.